Did your run even count if it wasn't on Strava? No, Megan, it did not. But don't worry, there's 5 pieces of fitness technology that will make sure you never miss your 3 daily kudos from your Strava followers. But which piece of fitness tech is for you? Because you might not even be a runner. Over the last month/5 years, I've tested the most popular fitness tech: Fitbit, Oura Ring, Whoop, Apple Watch, Garmin. And today I'm putting them head to head to see which is the best one for you. Or are they all actually crap and maybe we should rely a little bit less on technology? The Oura Ring. I love this thing, so be prepared for bias. First step, accuracy. I actually find Aura's isn't super accurate. Like, it's always a little above, a little below. Insider joke, Oura does pick up random things as your workouts, and they're in on the joke. I've had friends be doing monkey business with their partner, and it says, wow, great 2-minute stepper workout. And so it's like always tracking and like picking it up. So it's got an automatic tracker, which is fine. But every once in a while you read one, you're like, I was just laying in bed at 8:30 p.m. Delete. You can definitely track workouts with your Oura Ring. There's a way you go into the app, you put start workout, and for weight workouts, it definitely scratches. So I personally never wear it for a weight workout. Battery life, phenomenal. It lasts about a week. Recovery features, it has really 3 components. It has both recovery, sleep tracking, and activity. The recovery is amazing. And one of the best things is the body temperature, because if you want, it's $10 extra a month, unfortunately, but if you're someone who wants to understand a bit more about your cycle, you can connect it to natural cycles, and that will use the body temperature of your Oura Ring to help you track your cycle, see where you're ovulating, and I think that's a great resource. There's flaws in using temperature to track your menstrual cycle and, avoiding pregnancy, but it's definitely a great tool to understand your body. And it has the HRV, which it really takes into account, but like the Whoop is all about HRV. It's like everything make or break your HRV. Next, sleep. And I'm sorry, the rest track it. Aura's is 100%, I will put my money on, the best sleep tracker there is. It shows your total sleep, when you went to bed, when you wake up. It says your REM, your deep, latency, which it talks about like how fast you fall asleep. Smartphone features, none. But that's kind of the blessing. Now, the curse with the Oura is you definitely need your phone to see it, but you can just go about your day not looking at your phone and knowing everything's tracked, and that's what I do love. Communities, it has something called Circles, which was fun, and it's a gimmick, and you forget about it. Like, I have a circle with my brother and his wife, and I have a circle with my 2 best friends, and it just shows like readiness, sleep, and activity full score. Like, doesn't tell you anything else. So it is fun every once in a while. I'll look and I'll be like, oh my God, Amy, you're not sleeping properly. I hope you're okay. Now I'm gonna tally up the costs all at the end so you know which is actually worth it. The downside about the Oura is, unfortunately, there is a subscription fee. It's $7.99 Canadian. So I think it's around $5 American, which sucks. It does. I always forget that because unfortunately I am grandfathered in. I know, that's annoying to hear. So I, for the rest of my life, don't have to pay the subscription fee. So sometimes it helps being an early adopter to something. I'm sorry, I wish I had like some promo code for you. Aura, how have you not given me a promo code? Come on, guys, come on. It's okay. I don't take it personally. I take it personally. Next up, Whoop. Step accuracy, 0.
Discovery number 1 of Whoop. It doesn't track steps.
If you're a step girly, right there, easy, boom, Whoop stuff for you. Whoop-de-whoop.
It's all about recovery, strain. You can tell they really want to be in the performance.
Weight workout. I did find actually Whoop, maybe this is kind of a cool thing. They don't just count for cardiovascular, they also account for strength. You have to implement your workouts after but it does give a spot to put your reps, weight, and the exercise you did. And it also is technology, which I find crazy, I don't know how, is supposed to also account on the strain weightlifting has in your body, which does set it apart from all these other ones.
Okay, I'm just doing my first workout. And you go in the app to start it. Because I always wonder that. I'm like, how does it know?
And running workout, it sucks because there's no screen, so you actually have to look at your phone if you want to keep up with pacing, running, anything like that. And it doesn't do splits or anything like that. So if you're like a hardcore runner, you'll definitely want an additional like Garmin or Apple Watch or Fitbit. So why would you want to? Battery life, it's about a week, but the best part is they have this little attachment you plug on so you can charge it while wearing it, which is pretty awesome. The sleep tracking was good. It was the same as Oura, Apple. It shows your REM, your deep. The problem is Whoop is really rude. I felt offended by my Whoop score when it came to sleep because it also calculates sleep debt, which I do like. It's something I need to work on. But it started telling me I need to sleep like 12 hours. It said, 11 hours and 30 minutes. It's like, you must go to bed at 9 o'clock and sleep till 7:30 to get enough sleep to make up for your sleep debt. I'm like, I physically can't sleep 11 and a half hours. It did motivate me. I was like, oh, I want to go to bed. So it was good. It motivated me. But it was also, I'm like, shut up.
I'm like at the point of like setting sign up and I'm like, I'm just over you. Oh God. Sorry, I'm really not enjoying big hater. It gives you this strap to charge. Fine, right? What the hell is this? It's just like hanging like this. Have a longer strap.
Honestly, the Whoop just annoyed me. It was super glitchy. It was crashing several times. It was super annoying to get set up. It got lost in the mail, and sometimes it just decided not to track my sleep. It was great customer service when I had problems, but just the user easeability was not nice.
Sorry, we live in the future. I have high expectations of ease of use for tech. So I'll use another email, but I know that's gonna bite me in the butt in the future.
Community was cool. It does have a community aspect. You can join a lot of teams, competitions. You can do it with friends. So in terms of like community and that like competition, it does, but it just compares you guys on strain. Smartphone features, absolutely none. Found something I love and hate about the Whoop. Hate that when an activity's on, because it's on your phone, not on your wrist, you can't go to like the menu. Like you can't see your summary of the day while a workout's on. Like when a workout's on, that's it. But it live time shows your GPS. So for example, I'm on a walk right now and I can see my GPS and there's something so satisfying. It makes you want to like just keep walking. One thing that really stood out that I do like about Whoop though is you don't have to wear it on your wrist. I actually normally wear it in my sports bra because it's ugly. It is ugly. And I'm just gonna be brutally honest. I'm gonna say exactly what I said to my friends. Amy, I feel like Whoop is overpriced. Ash, I've heard nothing about Whoop until now. I was like, it's so ugly and it's glitchy. What is the info stats? It's pretending to be high performance, but it's not. Aura is for the girlies. Its main thing is HBR. Track sleep, strain, recovery. Kind of like Aura, but more focused recovery versus sleep. But it literally didn't track my sleep last night. Aura be whooping, Whoop's ass. Unfiltered, that's what I told my friends. The whole premise of the Whoop is a strain score, which is based off your HRV, similar to a recovery score, the Aura, but its main focus is to tell you when you're in the red and you need a recovery day versus when you're in the green, and that means you're fully recovered and ready to push yourself 100%. And there's a yellow, which means kind of a state of overreaching that can be beneficial as well, but that's really the whole premise of the Whoop, is it's supposed to tell you when to push and when to rest. Also, I found it really gross because it's cloth, you can't really clean it, and if it gets wet, it's like permanently wet versus like an Apple Watch, or like you can clean it. And like I had to wear this gross band to bed every day. But it does really gamify recovery in the best way. Aura gamifies recovery, but more so it gamifies sleep. This does gamify recovery. I realized like if I meditated, if I calmed down, if I stretched, if I had a nap, it really made me realize like, oh, I'm recovering. So actually it's probably something I need in that sense because it really gamified recovery, which isn't always my best as a type A person that has a very energetic personality, doesn't like slow down. So it's probably good for me. Maybe that's why I hate it. Next up, Fitbit. I'm sorry if you wear a Fitbit, do not take this personally. You already know if you love it or hate it. First, in terms of tracking workouts, it definitely can. It isn't the most accurate, it's very basic. Now you can track runs, it will do distance, it's not gonna do anything fancy, it is the bare bones because the Fitbit is a glorified step tracker. That is what it is. It stays at least true to its ethos. If you're a step person, you will love this. Even down to the app, live time shows your steps. Battery life, amazing. It lasts several days. It drains faster if you track your workouts. I just woke up from my first night sleeping with the Fitbit and it doesn't really give much data. I would barely consider this a sleep tracker. It just tells the hours and then if I was restless or awake, which is fine, but like I feel I can calculate that. Like you kind of know when you fall asleep and when you wake up. I want to hear my REM quality deep. So in terms of sleep tracking, pretty poor. Smartphone features, it just pretty much gives you notifications. It will give you all your notifications with a very aggressive vibrate, but there's not much you can do aside from that. Now, let's go into the things that make the Fitbit unique. If you're someone who's not in the Apple ecosystem and you actually find yourself in more of the Google ecosystem, you're gonna love this because it connects like to your Gmail account. So if you are a Google girly, which YouTube is owned by Google, so we love you, Google, don't take any of this personally. If you don't have an iPhone, you won't get really the benefits of having an Apple Watch, so you might as well get something else, and this could be an option. One thing I used to say is for community. There used to be step challenges. You can definitely debate the Fitbit's a little toxic. Hear me out. Its main thing is steps. Now, I think that's good for a lot of people. But then there's some people who are gonna see it's just steps. They'll be hyper-focused on steps. And that's why I originally had to get rid of my Fitbit way back in the day. And so I've noticed in 2023, they got rid of communities and challenges on Fitbit. And you can just now just join your friends. And I bet you it's a bit of they were finding people are doing 100,000 steps a day, and that's a little toxic. It does have something I really like. You can track your water and nutrients in the app because my one thing I want from fitness tech is one day you can take your phone and it has all your data and you just give it to your doctor, Medicine 3.0, and they can just print it off and they know everything about you. And I just think that will really result in prevention versus just trying to find cures and keep people healthy. And that's why I'm biased towards Apple, because that's what Apple's going towards. If the Fitbit, I'm going to be 100% honest, I'm just going to be honest, it is for your grandparents. It's outdated. It's just steps and calories in and out, and that's kind of all it is. And yes, you can do some other things, and it's basic. It's really easy, really user-friendly, and it's kind of cheap. It's kind of dinky. It's definitely not one to wear out to dinner, but the plus is the price. It is the cheapest. You can find many of them. I would definitely just, if you're going to get Fitbit, get the cheapest, because even like these ones, yeah, your Fitbit is your entry into smartwatches. To see if you're someone who likes wearing something like this, that's who a Fitbit is for. It is your starting point, low barrier to fruit, and for our parents. Unless you're a cool parent, then, you know, get them a Whoop. Now, obviously staying hydrated is very important, but hydration doesn't just mean water. It also means replenishing your electrolytes lost. And if you watched any of my videos, you have approximately 5 seconds to guess what I'm talking about. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's Element. Of course it's Element. And it's by far my favorite electrolyte. First of all, it honestly just tastes good. But the real reason I drink it is its science-based ratio of 1,000 milligrams sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. It is trusted by Olympic athletes, NFL players, NHL, NBA. And the reason they're so important is they're a driving force behind energy production in our cells, nerves, and muscles. I've just had this conversation so many times with friends because there is such a demonization of the salt movement. And this is one reason I'm so passionate and constantly want this as a sponsor of my channel. A lot of the sodium recommendations now, science is coming out, is not accurate, especially for someone sweating. So it's not gonna be the solution for everyone, but it's been a solution for a lot of people. And the moral of the story is if you're doing things that involve sweating a lot, sauna, running, endurance sports in general, you do need to replenish electrolytes. And my favorite electrolyte by far is Element. The taste, the convenience of it, and also it's cozy season, guys. And trust me, I know this sounds weird off the bat. I know this sounds weird. Hot cocoa electrolyte. Does salted chocolate taste good if you think so? The first time I heard salt chocolate, I'm like, oh, that sounds disgusting. But it just tasted like a salted hot cocoa. Oh my God, as soon as the weather gets chilly, move aside pumpkin spice, I just think about pulling out the chocolate Element. And of course, I'm not gonna just talk about this great product and not give you guys a discount. If you go to my link, drinkelements.com, you'll get one of their sample packs, which is a great way to try all 8 of their flavors or share with a salty friend. Once again, that's drinkelement.com/Keltie. Thank you, Element, for sponsoring this video, because you're who's made it possible for me to buy these activity trackers. Garmin, specifically the Venu 3S, which I found is like the most equivalent to just the basic baseline Apple Watch. Day one with Garmin, I almost gave up because I had a screw up and it was programmed to the wrong language and I couldn't figure out how to get it to English after many of days. Day one was really day 4, but we finally got on. After several days, I finally figured out how to set up the Garmin because it's been in another language, so I haven't been able to pair it to my phone, and I need to pair it to my phone to change the language. Garmin review time, finally. Running workout, this is where it's gonna be supreme. Running, cycling, endurance, hiking. Garmin has all those features. If there's a feature you want, Garmin has it. Now weights. This is where Garmin, I find, is not actually as good as an Apple Watch because it does have a rep counter, but I found it quite glitchy. Battery life, Garmin is supreme. So much that you might actually regret it because you forget to charge it. So if you go on vacation, you're going to travel somewhere, not bring your charger because you never charge it, and then it's going to die halfway through your vacation. Most of them will last easily a week, even with tedious workouts. Some are even designed now to last 21 days, which is insane. Recovery features. Its main thing is its battery life. I find this a little gimmicky, but also super fun because it turns you into a Tamagotchi. If you're born in the 90s, you know, we all play Tamagotchis, and now the Tamagotchi is us. It's like a video game. It literally drains. The more activity you have, the less sleep it drains. And if you do things like naps or recovery, it builds it back up. And I won't lie, I love this. This might be the thing that sways me to Garmin. Am I becoming a Garmin girly? I don't know. It has menstrual cycling in the app, which most of them do now. If it's something you like to do, but it's not your main concern, it is there. So the sleep tracking, it has the score, quality, REM, light, deep, and the basics, but not as in depth as Aura. I find it has it, but it's pretty much on the same equivalent as the Apple Watch. Community is where Garmin really shines. In its ecosystem, you can do challenges, you can do groups with people. Smartphone features, it has the basics. You'll see text, notifications coming in, you'll see phone calls, you can answer a phone call. But really the best way I would acknowledge it is your Garmin is a fitness tracker with some smartphone features versus the Apple Watch is a smartwatch that has some fitness features. And the price. This model is $599 on Amazon, but you can get ones that are around $100, $200, and multi-thousands. Now, I will note also though, this model specifically is very plasticky, which is a pro and a con. That means it's more durable. It is lighter. Like I don't really notice it on. It's so light. And also I'm not as scared about slamming it. If you're klutzy and you're constantly doing this, it's fine. It's completely fine. The Apple Watch might not have done that. So also pro. But that leads me to Apple. Now for my crown jewel, which I will not be biased towards because I hold Apple to a high standard. And I've had an Apple Watch since day one of Apple Watch. But specifically, I'm just going to compare a baseline Apple Watch to the others. But I'm also at the end of this going to mention the new features on the 10. So if you're someone who's on a Series 9 or below and you're like, oh, should I upgrade to the 10? I'll explain because it could be worth it or not. Step accuracy, it's the most accurate along with Garmin. Weights, I personally think if you're a weightlifter, Apple Watch is the best. There's a lot of third-party apps you can use, and that's the limitation of all the other watches like Garmin and all that. They're just a little buggy versus in terms of tracking your weights and having it sync in with your weight tracking apps. Apple's gonna win this. Running workouts, it's pretty basic. It's not gonna be as specific as Garmin, but now they've done a lot of features to try to compete with Garmin. You can do customized workouts. It will show you your pace, your splits, distance, GPS tracking. Battery life, this is where it falls. The average Apple Watch currently, like a Series 9, lasts 18 hours and then about 4 hours of workout tracking a day. Recovery features, it does your sleep, it does all that. The problem with it is because it doesn't last 24 hours or multiple days. I never wear it to bed, but it does track your sleep. Community, lackluster. You can definitely follow a friend and you can do challenges, but it's just like all you do is you compete for 7 days and you pick your move goal. And if you complete your move goal, you win that day. It's weird. Smartphone features, it has it all. At the end of the day, I'm going to sell you on the Apple Watch right now. And this is every day. I'm so thankful for it. Ready for this? Do you hear that buzz? Yeah. I just paged my iPhone. So when I lose my iPhone, because I lose everything, I just go on my Apple Watch, bing, and it starts ringing. That's reason enough. That's reason enough I have you sold. Now it has all the smartphone. You can accept a call. You can play your music. You can read things on it. You can have photos. It's just really, they're just trying to make the watch an extension. You should be able to do everything you can do on your phone, just simply on your wrist. Now let's talk the Apple 10 update. First, anywhere from a Series 6 to 10, if you get the update, you can do what now is called your training load. Yep, they copied Whoop and everyone else. After playing around with this feature for a week, I'm still not sold on it anymore. It's because it's more of your perceived effort, which is great checking in on ourselves, but does not defeat the purpose of having smart tech. Because at the end of the workout, it asks you like your perceived effort, which I'm like, you're my Apple Watch. You should tell me. The battery life, I was hoping for a big change. I was hoping to defend Apple Watch with this, and no. What they decide to do, instead of increasing the battery life, they put in more performance while maintaining the battery life. But it does charge a lot faster. They did increase that. So about 15 minutes of charging gets you 8 hours of battery life. And there is a new design. It's a bigger display. It's more so square, and it's the thinnest Apple Watch. It's about 10% thinner than the 9, which does make it more comfortable on your wrist. And the best part is it slides easier on your sleeves. It has a new jet black color. An environmental impact, the titanium watch is part of the carbon neutral lineup from Apple. It does have some water feature like a built-in depth gauge and temperature readers. And then of course the training load. And that is the biggest improvements for the 10. So I won't lie, I was a little sad. I thought the 10 would be this complete change, but they did make it a little sleeker, some few more features, but not something that I'm like, run, this is crazy. It's safer money and get the 9. Honestly, sorry Apple, I'm just being honest, but I got it. So like, that says something. Now that we've gone through all the features that make each one unique, let's go over the prices and let's match you to the perfect fitness wearable. Community versus challenges. If you want to be a part of a community, I'd lean towards more Garmin. Price. Be warned, some of these are very expensive off the start and some are cheap off the start. What will you actually be paying the most for long term? This was eye-opening. An Apple Watch will usually start around somewhere in the 500, so $549 for the Series 9. The Apple Series 10 is this, but now that the Apple Series 10 came out, go check out Costco. You can get like a Series 8 or 9 for a lot cheaper. No subscription fee of any sort. Garmin, for the equivalent to the Apple Watch, is just tiny a bit more expensive, about $599 Canadian, but you can get cheaper models. But if you want something that does everything the Apple Watch does, you'll be paying just a little bit more. The Oura Ring is going to be somewhere in the 300s to 400s at the start, But then when you take into account the subscription fee over 10 years, it's going to cost you $589 Canadian. The Fitbit is only $329. Of course, you can get cheaper. But if you were to get the premium membership, it will cost you $568 after 2 years. So it ends up being the same price as an Apple Watch or a Garmin long-term if you get the premium. Now here's the mind-blowing, the Whoop. If you just get the basic one, that's free. But if you were to pay for the whole subscription fee up front, it's only $539 for the 2 years. But no one's doing the subscription up front. We're doing once a month. And if you do that, if you pick monthly and pick a color, just a basic color, it's gonna cost you $1,019 if you do yearly. So yeah, the most expensive is Whoop. Unless you pay everything up front, just get the black one. The most expensive in the long term is definitely going to be the Whoop. So who are all of these for? Who the Whoop is for? If you're an athlete or someone training for some big event who just wants to make sure you're balancing recovery and not overtraining. If you're someone who's become obsessed with steps and you still want an activity tracker, but you don't want to have this grip steps have on you. If you're trying to reduce the screen time in your life. If you're a runner or like cyclist and you already have something to track your workouts, for example, you already have a Garmin or you have the thing on your bike that tracks your workouts. If you already have that and you just want something that tracks more recovery and sleep, then I would recommend this. If you're someone like myself who needs to gamify recovery, otherwise you won't recover. If you're someone who wants to see how different healthy habits affect your recovery and performance. Garmin, you're training for an endurance event. Cycling, running, swimming, triathlon, nothing competes with it. If you're someone who works out for more than, I'd say, 4 hours a day, you're doing Ironman training or you're an athlete and you don't want to have to constantly thinking about charging your watch. In that, just someone who hates charging. If you hate charging, you won't do it daily. Yeah, lean more towards Garmin. If you're someone who doesn't have an iPhone. If you're someone who's super specific about running metrics, you want every running metric known to man, but you also don't want to pay for the Apple Watch Ultra. Durability. If you're kind of a klutz like me and you have a tendency to swing your arm against something and hit things, yeah, you need a bit more of a durable watch. Garmin. If you're someone who does like a specific sport, for example, you're a hiker, skier, golfer, you can get a Garmin that's specific for that. So you get your hiking paths, your golf courses, and all that. And also, if you just want to be accepted by the cyclist running community, I'll just let you know, if you're someone like me who's an Apple Watch girly and you go into the running community, it's a little, she's Apple Watch. She's not that serious. Okay, you know what? There's a little bias in the running community. You're not a true runner till you have a Garmin. It's just a thing. Aura. If you're someone who wants to better understand their menstrual cycle, if you want to track sleep, if that's your biggest goal, 100% the Aura Ring. And if you're someone who doesn't want to wear an activity tracker, I'm sorry, it says a lot when you're walking around with a smartwatch or an activity tracker. You want to still know what happens on a night out without wearing your Apple Watch. Aura Ring. It is by far the most stylish. Also, if you're just someone who has a regular watch, if you're like, I spent all this money for this beautiful watch I love and I want to wear it every day, here's your alternative so you can still wear that watch. If you're also someone who wants minimal charging, if you actually really don't want like a fitness tracker, you just want like a health tracker that kind of tracks your health as a whole, Aura Ring's great for that. And most importantly, if you want to see how different habits and parts of your life affect your sleep. Fitbit, you don't have an iPhone. You just want the basics. How many steps am I moving more or less? You want to save money and steps are your number one priority. And if it's your first activity tracker, just be careful that you don't become obsessive about steps. And I will finish off, you cannot take any of these as 100% fact. They are used a lot of algorithms, they use data. You're not hooked up to machines breathing in oxygen. If you're someone who really wants to know the science and the accuracy behind all these, check out the Quantified Scientist on YouTube. He's who I go to actually see like how accurate all these. He does the science behind it all. What I want this video to be a bit more is just realize the limitations of these, and I want to match the one that will improve your lifestyle and fit the most into your life and give you the insight you need, because that's all these do. They just give you the insight to help you encourage healthy things. For example, why these work so well for me is I will not recover. I will not sleep. I'm someone who can run off no sleep. That's not good. I need to. I don't enjoy sleeping. When I got an Aura Ring, it gamified sleep. It was something I could win at, and so that made me prioritize it. That's also why I'm actually gonna hold on to the Whoop as much as I trashed it. It's something I realized, I was like, you know what, there is times in my life where I'm overreaching and I don't focus on recovery, and something about the Whoop being like, you actually have to push today or you don't. I didn't find a lot of the other things as great about it, but I won't lie, I'm gonna continue using my Whoop in certain times in my life. If I were to go do a big endurance race, I'm definitely gonna hold on to the Garmin, or I already actually have the Apple Watch Ultra, so I will use that. But at the end of the day, I use an Apple Watch because of the smartphone features. I love being in the Apple ecosystem. It does track my workouts. Is it gonna be the best fitness activity tracker? No, but I like that it does health. It syncs in with everything, and it just gives me a general idea. And I like the idea of down the road being able to give my Apple Watch to my doctor and it have all my health data for so long, which I know scares a lot of people. They're like, you want? I'm like, I'm sorry, yes. I want all my health data for years and years and years. So one day when AI takes over, I can give it all to it. It can tell me how to live forever. Just kidding.
And Apple is also best for someone like me that wants it all. You want all the smartphone features, you want recovery, health, and you're not sport specific versus like a Garmin. And that's why I stick with the Apple Watch, because I'm not just a runner or a cyclist or one specific sport. Rather, I'm always changing up activities and doing different challenges. And I find it allows just a great level of flexibility between different activities.
All these do is gamify that. Just think of it as gamify. You are a real life video game character and all these can become an obsession. So if every once in a while you're like, oh, I'm a little obsessed, see if you can survive a week without it. If you're watching this and you have one and you have not gone a day without wearing one of these. If you guys would like me to review anything else like this in the fitness tech world, comment down below. But most importantly, have a great day. Go pet a dog. Love you guys. Bye.